This video is going to take you through the process of creating a new account in our registration system and walk you through the process of actually registering a camper for camp. If you already have an account, you can always log in here with your username and password, and if you forget, you can reset those or give us a call and we can help you with that. There's always important messages that you can view on the top of each screen, helpful information that you should read, but if you already know about it, you can actually close this so it's not cluttering the page up so much. But let's assume you need a new account, you're a new camper, so you're going to go down here to create new account. This will start the process of creating your account for the first time. We'll go ahead and minimize that for now. So we're going to say that we have a new camper here. So basically this is the basic information about the primary person on the account, whoever creates it. But once that is all entered, you can just click next and move on. One thing I will say, you might have noticed, if a field is yellow when you get to it, that means that it is required, so you cannot move forward until you've actually filled out that field. Your second screen will be a camper information field. You can actually click on this birth date field and bring up a calendar of when they were born. And then down here at the bottom, you choose what grade they are in. Any button that has that is colored green is the one that's selected. So right now my camper is a male, but I could change the camper to a female. This screen is simply basic address information about the camper. One thing that we ask is that you type in your postal code before you enter your city, because the system will actually find your city automatically once you tab out of this field. So again, this is all basic information about the camper. For most campers, this will just be the parents' information. Next, you come to your session options screen, so you choose which session of camp you want the camper to go to. And this is filtered by the gender and by the grade entering the following fall for the camper. So for a camper entering 3rd grade who is a boy, he just has the options of primary camp. Now you come to guardian information, so you're going to enter information about the parent or guardian of the camper. Again, choose the gender. Marital status, you don't have to select that, but it's helpful for us if you can. And then the relation to the camper. These two fields are optional. And then down here, just tell us if the camper lives with this person and if we can release the camper to that person. Your address field should automatically be pre-populated from entering the address earlier, but you can always change it if you want to. Same thing with your phone and email here. It will bring up a second guardian screen, but you can just leave this blank if you want. But obviously if the camper has 2 parents, it is helpful to know about both of those. Next, it'll ask you for an emergency contact, which we just ask is somebody different than the primary contacts you put in before, because this is used in the case that we can't get a hold of those people. So just put somebody like an aunt or an uncle, or somebody else in the camper's life who would be a good emergency contact. You don't have to enter address information or an email for the emergency contact, but you do have to put in a phone number. Next, you come to the forms screen, and the forms just give us additional information about the camper. So one of the things that every camper will have to fill out is a camper profile sheet, which just tells us basic information about where they go to church, where they go to school, their t-shirt size, have they been here before, if they haven't been here before, tell us who invited the camper, and that person will get a $50 credit. Then you can tell us how you heard about us. If there's somebody that you do not want the camper to be with, such as a sibling, is usually when this comes up, please tell us this here. Otherwise you can just leave it blank. And then tell us who will pick up the camper on the last day of camp. So just tell us their name, relationship to the camper, and a phone number for them. Once it's done, you'll see that the check mark is now green, and you move on to the next form. Basic health history form is your next thing to tell us about allergies, nutrition needs, just certify that the camper can or cannot participate in all the camp activities as far as you understand them. Tell us about any health history for the camper. And of course, describe any issues that are, or things that we need to know about in more detail as you go along. Asthma, you have three options. Either they don't have asthma, they can carry their own inhaler, or the nurse can keep it for them and they just prescribe it when needed. Medications, if the camper has any sort of medication whatsoever, please put that here and give us detail. And we ask that you don't take your child off of their medications while they come to camp. Additional medications you can put here. If there's anything we need to know about your child that will help us make their week better or more special in some way, whether it's their birthday coming up or they're just gone through something really difficult in life, or whatever the case may be, if it's something that we can know that will make us able to better meet the needs of your child, that's really helpful information right here. We need to know whether they're covered by health insurance, and if they are, then just tell us the basic information about their policy and then their doctors as well. Last but not least, we just need a quick signature just stating that we have the authorization to help them out if they're injured. Your last couple things here are just quick waivers, so you just put just sign yes or no. But this one's important because you must sign yes if your camper is going to ride the zip line. But if you don't want them to, you can just say no and then sign your name down here. And then let us know, last but not least, if we can take pictures of your child and post them on Facebook and other places like that using our promotional materials. If you say no, just know that they will not appear anywhere, including like camp highlight DVDs or cabin pictures or the all camp photo. Once those are all completed, you can click next and it will let you proceed to the next screen, which allows you to choose your cabin mates. You can choose up to 2, and we guarantee the first one. We will do our best to grant the second one. And the other thing that is new with our new system here is you can put in the email address of the parent of the friend you want your camper to be bunked with, and our system will automatically send that person an email saying that you were registered for camp and your child would like to bunk with their friend, which is pretty cool. Next, you have some available options here. You can add a DVD or a picture to your account, and so if you want to add both, you could just click right here, click add, and then come over here and it will actually add these things to your account. If you decide you don't want them, you can always click over here, click remove, and they won't be there. If you have any sort of discount code that we give out, you can put that here and that will be applied to your account. And then at this point you're going to come up to a screen where you have some options from this point. For this camper, if you want to add a new registration for a different program, you can do that here by clicking new registration. If you have another son or daughter you want to add, you can click add new camper, and you can add as many as you want before you pay. But if you are ready to pay, then you can click make payment, and it will ask you if you want to donate to our camper scholarship fund, which we would much appreciate, but you definitely don't have to. So if you don't want to, just click next and move on to the next screen. So at this point it will bring you back to your dashboard, which I'll go over in just a second, but it's actually going to take you onto your payment screen, and again there's a little bit of a text field up here, but you can hide that if you don't want it there. But now you have your balance for the camper that needs to be paid, and so again, you can enter a donation amount if you want, but in order to pay and confirm your camper's spot in camp, you must pay at least the minimum $50 deposit, unless you're applying for a scholarship, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But in normal circumstances, you pay the $50 deposit. You can pay the full balance, or you can pay some other amount if you want that's less than the full balance. Your next screen would ask you what you want to put in the camper store account, and you can always put this later. You can always come back and put money at a later time, or even during a week of camp. You can come in and check the camper's account and add money at that point during a week if you want to do that. And then last but not least, you'll get to your final payment screen where it's going to give you your summary for how much money you owe, camper store balance, things like that. It'll tell you how much you're going to be charged today. You can choose to pay by credit card or e-check, and then you choose how you want to pay here at the very end. And once you click next, it will take you to your confirmation screen and you'll be done. It's pretty simple. But let's assume that you want to apply for a scholarship, and so you're not ready to pay the balance yet. What you can actually do is, when it brings you to the registration screen, you can just click previous, which will take you back to your dashboard. And at this point, once you've filled out all that information, you will be considered enrolled for camp, which means that we have your information, you're ready to go, except for that you have not paid it any sort of deposit yet. And so at this point, enrolled means that your spot is not being held. And so in order to do that, you either have to pay the $50 minimum deposit, or you can register for a scholarship application, or do a scholarship application. And when you come down here to the forms area, which I'll cover in just a second, you can click on that, tell us a little bit of information about your situation, and then once that is filled out, we'll get that and we can actually give you scholarship funding from there. And if we If we do, then we can actually change your status manually to registered so that you are now enrolled in camp. There's a few things that I'll go over very quickly here on this page. We have a separate video specifically for the dashboard where it goes a little bit more into depth. But let's say that you start the process of registering your child and you have to finish later, or something happens and you just don't finish. Or maybe even if there's a problem with the system and you can't go forward for some reason, so you have to log back into your account. It's going to bring you into this dashboard area, and again, it will show you kind of your status here. Right now you're just enrolled, but if you pay the deposit, then it becomes registered, which means that your spot is being held for camp. Over here on the left side, you kind of have a camper area where you can edit information about your camper. You can add another camper. And same thing with contacts, like the emergency contact and the primary guardian here. You can edit any information you want by clicking here, or add a new contact. There's optional addition things here, so you can manage your cabin mates. You can come in and change or add cabin mate requests. You can also add or change your DVD or picture options at a later time if you want to. If you don't want to add them at first, that's okay. You can always do it later. This is the forms section where if you don't complete any forms, then you'll have to come in here and do it. And most of these are actually required for you to be able to pay for camp, because we want you to finish these before you complete your registration and pay for camp. So it'll tell you that if that's the case. But there's one in particular, the immunizations, that we decided to break out into its own separate space. So it's not part of the health history, but it is required. However, what we did is we made it so you can actually finish the whole process of registering and paying for camp, and fill in the immunization dates at a later time, because we know a lot of people don't have easy access to them, and so you can always come back in 2 weeks later and do that before camp actually starts. But it will be required before your camper comes to camp. There's also forms here that you can download, PDFs that are helpful information for you to know about camp, and specifically things about your camp session. With some of our adventure camps specifically, it'll add more letters here that give you additional information than our on-site camps would. But those are here for you. And then last but not least, if there's anything that you need to know for your camper's account, like for example right now it's telling me that you have to make a minimum deposit on the account, and you can click resolve and it will take you to your payment screen and fix that. And then once you do all that, then it will say no further action required right now. That's pretty much it. But we hope you enjoy our new system, and we hope it'll make your registration experience much smoother. And yeah, if you have any questions or feedback, please give us a call.